Hey YouTube, this is Fence Kid coming at you. What you're looking at here is a fairly inexpensive Swiss coin. I think they call them Rappins, but they got a really cool pattern on there. Really inexpensive. I don't know what I paid for this one. Maybe $2-3. Got it on eBay. But if you start playing around with these coin rings, you're playing around with quarters and 50-cent pieces and whatever else. And if you watch my other video on how to make these rings, and you've already made one, you're real familiar with how the inside of that ring is marred up. The outside's choice, but the inside, I know it's not a big deal. No one's going to see it if it's on your finger or hers. But if somebody says, let's check it, pop it off, and you really want to give it a good look over, you're going to be able to see the inside. Well, whatever markings were there was pretty much rubbed off, especially if you really stretch the coin out. On this small one, this is like a size 5. Not too much marring on the inside of the ring, because we didn't really put a lot of pressure on it and stretch it out. So the inside of this one, pretty decent, not too shabby. Sooner or later, I can promise you, sooner or later you're going to want to go for something a little bit more expensive. This is a Utah 90% silver proof coin, uncirculated. Never been circulated, so all the details on it are real extremely sweet. You see the inside of that one? That's choice. That's prime time if you ask me. I mean, no marring marks. And what I'm going to show you today is what I do, or what you can do to go about producing a ring without any marks on the inside of your ring. Now, if what I'm talking about sounds a little bit unfamiliar, I've thrown a couple links below this video on how to actually make these rings out of coins. Go check those out, give you a little bit more information on how to actually form the rings. Now if you're wondering how much a silver coin costs, this Walking Liberty ring right here, the coin was purchased for $12 on eBay. This coin that I'm working on today, this Utah silver proof, was $10 on eBay. If you're not familiar with eBay, I'll provide a link below on where you can go to find good and not so good silver coins. Okay, we've got our coin punched out. We've got it annealed. You can see that super frosty look that silver gets. That's what happens with silver when you anneal it. We've used the dapping block to dome it up to give us a head start. It just fits on that mandrel. And you can see I'm using a piece of paper in there. So when I come through and I start tapping on this, there's something in between that coin and that metal mandrel, so you're not going to be marking up your ring. And as this works down, you'll rip the paper here and there, and not a big deal. You just, make some adjustments. Working with a little bit more expensive coin, you want to be a little bit more meticulous than just an average quarter. And once you get that ring opened up a little bit and you can get a strip of leather up in there, that works out really well too. So you've got a piece of leather in between the ring and the mandrel. That's really going to protect the inside of that ring. And you'll cut through this as it goes on down, and you just put another piece in. I got this leather off an old leather coat, so I've got plenty of that stuff laying around, but this works really well. Okay, now I just want to show you really quick. You see the inside of that hole, how jagged that looks? Before you really start stretching on this, you want to sand that down. Make sure that's nice and smooth and work out any of those hairline cracks around that edge, because a hairline crack will eventually turn into a tear. And so pay attention to what's going on, especially with these more expensive coins. So let's sand this off right now, make sure that's nice and smooth before we start stretching on this anymore. Shit. Using a strip of leather like this works great. A lot of force is being pushed on that as we're working this up down this mandrel, and it's stretching that out. You can see how far I've got to go. I've got to get down to about a size 7.5 for this particular ring. So we've got the ring folded over. Most of the work is done. Now we're just going to push this down using our PVC like I showed you in that other video, and we're just stretching it out. Keep something between the precious silver and the steel mandrel, and avoid these wicked marring marks on the inside of your ring. Now there's the word Liberty right there, well, most of it, and it goes all the way to the edge of that ring. We have no marring on the inside. You see the detail? There's the top of dude's head right there. You can even see his hairs on the top of his head right here. Those are the top of good old George's head, and the rest of it is looking really good. No marring, that's the way we like it. You know, I've still got some sanding to do on this ring. There's the old choo-choo train on the back of Utah, Crossroads of the West, is what it says on the coin. There's the West, we got that part. Utah 1896, there's Crossroads, most of the word anyway. Not too shabby at all. So just a little bit more sanding and a coat of polish, I'll show you the final product. Hang on. Alright, so you can see the inside details of that ring came out pretty darn sweet. No marring on the inside of that coin when you use paper or something to protect the inside of that. So that's the tip for the day, folks. Go out and grab you a silver coin now. Assuming you've already rocked one of these out, I presume you have, with a regular quarter, and you're ready to bump it up to a silver coin. Take care of the inside of that ring, and it really makes a difference. This is Fence Kid coming at you. Have a good one, guys.